Happy Football Friday, 5280 Sports Network and MileHighSports.com. It is your morning minute. Right there is Sean Drotar. My name is Nate Lundy. Thank you for stopping by here on a bye-week Friday. Some of you probably checked out already. You're already in full-blown turkey mode. Question is, deep fry or smoke it? Which one?
Smoked.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like frying everything.
Well, I know, but when you fire up the fryer on the back patio, it's highly possible your house will burn down. So, I kind of like the adventure. The smoke is you just smell funny for a couple of days.
Says the guy who hates the snow because he doesn't want to ski.
Correct, because I will break my body parts as well as other people's.
Odd sense of danger.
Because of the bye week, let's talk about a couple of things real quick. The Chargers are also on a bye, so that's part of the division. Half the AFC West is on their bye.
And the one team the Broncos are ahead of.
Yeah, so let's look at the other two games just briefly. The Raiders taking on the Texans down in Mexico City. A game that, frankly, both teams need. The AFC South is right there for the Texans to be able to stay in the hunt despite the play of Brock Osweiler. And obviously, the AFC West, in our opinion, the best division in the NFL right now. So Oakland has got to win. What do you see there?
Well, I think Tampa loses to Kansas City. I think Kansas City's just a better team, top to bottom. I think there's a puncher's chance for Houston. We're talking about a first-place team, but the Raiders are better, I think. When you look at if you want to say quarterback league, the Raiders have the better quarterback. Yep. They have the better receivers because they're healthier. They have the better pass rushers because they're healthier. Texans, if they were at full strength, would give the Raiders a better fight, but they're not. So I think this is the Raiders' game.
And I agree with you in terms of talking about the Bucs and the Chiefs battle in Kansas City. I give the Chiefs the edge there because they're at home, although we know that every now and then Jameis Winston all of a sudden looks like Jameis Winston, so it could get interesting. But I think, frankly, the Chiefs are playing very good football right now. That should be a good win for them as we look around the rest of the AFC West. We'll get to the preview of the Broncos and the Chiefs by the time we get to next week with you here on the Morning Minutes. Let's talk about the Avalanche last night, a loss to Dallas. You and I a little bit mixed on this one. I was okay with the fact that they came out a little bit slow because no Matt Duchene and no Gabe Landeskog, but you looked at it a different way.
Well, they're the second worst team in the Western Conference, and every single time when we've done this, the way I talk about the Rockies is the way you talk about the Avalanche. You're just looking for signs on a bad team to be positive, and it's the exact same way I tend to feel with baseball. The Avalanche aren't playing very well. Their talent is stacked offensively. They don't have a physical presence. Andreas Martinson, a center, by the way, led their team in hits again. That's not what you want to do. The Avs have lots of interesting pieces. They don't all gel. And I think at this point, something that you suggested, they need a trade. They need a shakeup if they're going to make any sort of big leap forward.
Yeah, I think at some point Joe Sakic's going to have to be willing to part with one of his boos. And I think, and truthfully, it's going to be tough for him. It's going to be tough for fans. I like a lot of the players that are on this team, but they are offensive heavy. We know that. They need some help in other places. Are they willing to do it? Because over the course of the draft, there were several years that the Avalanche, frankly, did not draft very well after they got past those top picks that they took. So they aren't sitting on the defensemen, and they aren't sitting on the kinds of names that are waiting in the wings, that are down in San Antonio with the Rampage and looking for an opportunity to get up with the big club to help out defensively. They just don't have that right now. I think they're going to have to jumpstart it with a trade, as painful as that might be, not only for us as fans, but for the organization as well. I think they're going to have to part with something that's going to make them nervous. Now, up to Boulder we go, to Folsom, with the Washington State Cougars coming to town tomorrow afternoon, 1:30 kickoff on Fox, nationally televised, 2 top 25 teams. CU checking in at number 10. They've got 2 big matchups to finish things off. Where do you see tomorrow?
Well, I certainly don't want to be too negative about it, and I understand that CU's defensive backfield is the best part of their team, but I think that what Washington State brings with Luke Falk, I think, is very different than anything they've really faced. And so I think there's going to be a real challenge keeping up with them. I think that CU can contain them to a certain question defensively. The point is, can the offense actually score enough to get over the hump? I honestly don't know. To me, this is a toss-up game.
Yeah, I think so. CU is actually favored by 6. If you look at the wise guys in Vegas, the over-under is set at 61, which is a big number. I think the question for CU is don't get down. Don't be playing catch-up. It's okay if you're going to sit there and swap touchdowns.
Yeah, you can't look at the national TV, start buying into your hype like you did against UCLA, because you won't catch up.
Yeah, so I think it's okay to be able to get into a back and forth. I'm okay if the final score is up in the 40s. That's fine with me. Just don't get behind to where you're playing catch-up. That's where you're going to have some problems. A Football Friday, enjoy it. Drive carefully out there with the winter weather. Everybody, enjoy the football this weekend. We're back with you Monday morning, 7 a.m. on Mile High Sports Radio to get ready for Broncos Chiefs in Week 12. For Sean Drotar, I'm Nate Lundy. See ya.